So this is a third video for English 102, English 103, and English 105. I'm teaching these courses at SUNY Adirondack. In this third video, what I want to do is show you a couple things in Blackboard that it became clear people need to see. A lot of you are working well in Blackboard. Some of you are struggling a little bit, so I wanted to take a little time with that. I also wanted to provide an overview of the class as a whole, of the folders for the class and the tasks in those folders, and then zoom in particular on this week and next week. So when you get into Blackboard, you'll see SUNY Adirondack that lets you know you're in the right place. And go to the tab called Courses, right? Sometimes it starts at my institution. We want courses. You'll see the list of the courses you're in. This is showing the list of courses that I'm teaching. My classes, the two sections of 102, 103, and 105 all have the same structure. So I'm going to open a 102, but this will be the same for 103 and 105. In the class, there's really only two or three things to note. One is announcements, another is content, another would be the grade center. And so the grade center only matters if you're looking for paper grades, and so I won't talk much about that today. The announcements is key. Any announcement I post, I try to have also to go to your student email. So you may have already seen announcements in a student email. You can go to the first and second video, and this video, for instance, from your email. But if you missed an announcement or don't want to just scroll through your email, all the announcements are collected here all the way back to the start of the course. If you click on more announcements or any one of these, it'll take you into them so that you can see them. The main tab, though, is content. So if you click over here on content, you'll see two folders. One folder takes us through the rest of the course. This other folder is everything from before spring break. I'm going to open the rest of the semester. There's the folder we were working in, folder 1. I want you to come back and look again at these 4 items on the bullet list, because these are things we're working on for the rest of the semester. This gives us a sense of the purpose and how I've structured the course. Most everybody has participated in that discussion. Some of you found the Easter egg. Following that, this week we're working in 3 separate folders, and so I'll come back to this shortly, but do a week from yesterday, Sunday the 29th. On Sunday the 5th at midnight is your work in 3 folders, and I'll come back to that. The following week we'll be working in topic groups. As noted, I have selected 3 main topics. You should be able to fit your topic of interest within that. If not, get creative or talk to me. Then we have 2 weeks from now, we'll be working on a draft of your source critique, giving each other some feedback, a revision of the source critique the week after that. There's an extra credit week if you'd like further review or to offer further review. Some of you will want extra credit to make up for late work from before the semester, from before spring break. There's a folder in which you'll submit the finished source critique. This is the same assignment that I gave initially. Remember, we've reduced the annotated bibliography from 12 to 2 sources, and also I've dropped the report, right, so that you can concentrate on the source critique. And this will be where those 4 elements on that bullet list at note 1 will become really key. And then the wrap up, instead of a poster session, I'm going to ask you to write a reflection on writing, and I have an optimistic note here for you. So if you need optimism, scroll to that. All right, so to come back to this week, if you select the week, I do try to write a little note here. Open this folder for Palucci's text on evaluating experts. That's what we're doing in folder 2. Barnett and Badeau on Toulmin's model for analyzing arguments. So many of you have already read this. And links to the college library page on research. So we're working in 3 areas this week. 2 readings and an introduction to the library. So if you think of it that way, it kind of simplifies it. It can look scary with these 3 things here. Open up that folder, and you'll see reading and viewing Palucci. Here's Palucci's text. Some of you had drawn on this before the break. There's a video of Palucci's lecture. Some of you used this in your first essay. There's Toulmin's text. This comes out of Barnett and Badeau. the actual text is here. This is the discussion. And then accessing library resources. And I'm going to add to this because there's a very useful resource from a college librarian, and I will post that for you here. In fact, did I remember to do that? I'm going to go in, and you'll see what did you find on the library site. And I see Hannah's already at work, which is excellent. In fact, when you get in here and you see that somebody's already working, don't just go off of my question. See what the person is doing that's already here and see how you could add to what the student is doing. Right? So if I reply to my note, I want to remember to do something. So I'm going to highlight this and write remind favor. And then what I want to do is post a link to Samantha's videos in the library for English 105. And I'll do this in all of the classes. Click submit. And so what I've just done is I've posted a reminder. You want to be checking into Blackboard 2, 3, probably this week, probably 4 or 5 times at minimum to make initial posts, but also to respond and follow up. But you know, even just to read what's there, right? Even just to see what's there. What I'll do later is I'll come back and I'll actually post the link that I wanted to post. For now, I'm just remembering to do it, so I've left a breadcrumb for myself to come back and find. All right. So that's one of the tasks is to work on the library site, and I'm going to come back to that forum 4. And so one of the things you're doing this week is familiarizing yourself with what's in the library. We did some of this before break. You've had it in English 101. And letting us know what you find there. You could even start your research, right? So if you were to do that, you want to look ahead at what group you'd like to be part of. To do that, I know I'm a fancy navigator here. You could get into next week's topic groups list and have a look at the topics there if you wanted. I'll open that so we can see it. I have 3 topic groups: the science of COVID-19. Maybe you want to get away from that, so you could go to the health of your generation. There might be something on that. Social media and society. I think any of your topics could work in one of these categories, or you could get creative and come up with a new topic. This is not this week, this is next week. I'm going to come back to the week we were working in. So I'm asking you to read or view Paolucci's text. This is a chapter from his book. This is a link to his video. I'm not going to open those now, just in the interest of time. But once you've either looked at his text or read the video, come in here. In fact, before you do that, you might come in here and see if anyone's posted anything. And it looks to me, I've posted an initial query. Hannah responded in depth in this section of English 102. I replied to her. Hannah replied to me. I asked if someone else could reply. Here's Kimberly. I'm offering some questions, asking people to follow up. Kimberly followed up. I said before posting, please read. So in this section of English 102, Kimberly, Hannah, and I have already had a discussion that was initiated by what Hannah and Kimberly posted. So they're ahead of the game. And so you want to try to catch up to Hannah and Kimberly. It's not a race, but don't feel like you have to start from zero. Work with what other people have already posted. So the Paolucci discussion is asking you, and you'll notice I'm just using the back buttons here. The Paolucci discussion is asking you to look at the video or to read part of the text. But what I would do is I'd start with what other students are writing and use that as a guide to what you want to do. Maybe nobody's looked at the video yet. You could be the person who does that. Toulmin's text is in Barnett and Badeau here, and what I'm asking you to do by this Sunday is to read the chapter, and really if you read the first 4 or 5 pages of the chapter, you have enough. And by this Sunday night, hopefully sooner, you'll deal with this question. So you'll see that people are already working on Paolucci. Maybe you want to start with Toulmin. My question is, what are the main concepts of Toulmin's model? How are these potentially useful for making sense of arguments and analyzing them? Right? And if you like a push, if you're going for a B or better in the course, right? In other words, if you want to aim for the A, you might take it to the next level. And so I'm trying to post that kind of encouragement in each one of the comments. So far nobody's worked on this one, so maybe this is where you would want to start to move things along. So to back out, what I'm asking you to work on this week are 3 things. Reading or viewing Palucci on how do we judge experts. You have a text and you have a video. The second thing is reading about Toulmin's model of argument. And Barnett and Badeau offer that to you. We looked at this somewhat before the break, in some classes more than others, and accessing the library research resources. You could work in these 3 forums, 2, 3, and 4, in any order you want. It doesn't matter what order you work in them. The key is that by Sunday night you want to have been in each one of them and posted at least once in each forum. And you can follow up just by reading and making even a brief comment. You'll see in this section forever, Hannah wrote quite a long comment to get things started, right? And even posted a link to a Google book. And I followed up with a couple of questions that are as much for others as for Hannah. And you'll see that Kimberly also posted a fairly decent starting point. They've offered you here some notes on the reading. Start with those, and then I just have a very short follow-up. All right, this video is getting to be 12 minutes long, which is maybe longer than you want to listen to me. So I'll wrap it up. So I look forward to seeing you online. Email me if you have concerns and questions, and definitely participate as much as you can. And look for Easter eggs.